Hi everyone, this is Lilith and welcome! Join me today as I show you how I created this colorful layout using the Mandala Maker and the Bergenia Builder stamp set. The Mandala Maker is a super fun stamp set to use, and you can combine it with any of your other stamp sets. So I'm going to take one of those dotted circles, which is going to help me position my flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a very, very subtle and light ink and stamp that onto the circle and then stamp that image onto some watercolor paper. I'm using watercolor paper from Altenew as I'll be adding watercolors to my flowers, and I want my ink or my watercolor ink to hold really well. So now that I've done that, I'm going to add some of the flowers from the Bergenia Builder. I'm going to use the smaller ones and also the larger cluster. I'm going to be using my embossing ink to ink up all the floral images and stamp them in a wreath around the circle that I had stamped previously. Those dotted lines are going to be my guideline. Once I've done the upper corner, I'm just going to add some white embossing powder and then heat set that. Once that's heat set, I can work on the opposite corner and do the same. I will also add that a lovely branch with a floral cluster approximately in the center of my layout. And once I have heat set all of these floral images, I can start adding some watercolors. I have stamped a couple of those images on a separate piece of cardstock just to add some dimension later on. I've picked a couple of my favorite colors at the moment, which are orange cream, moss, lime, sun-kissed, rouge, sea breeze and Persian blue. I'm just going to pop them onto a watercolor palette and then add the color to my images. I would like to know, what are your favorite color combinations at the moment? So as you can see, I have started by adding color to the leaves. I always start using my lightest color and then I add in a little bit of shading with the darkest color. I love using my watercolor palette for these kinds of projects because I'm a bit afraid to get too much color if I use the water brush markers directly onto my paper. So once again here, I'm going to add the lightest color first and then add a bit of those darker shades. What is really fun about this watercolor paper and these watercolors is that you can always water them down a little bit. And if you've added too much color, just clean your brush and pick that extra color up. Now let's start on those lovely orange flowers, but with a kind of a peachy tone to them. I really love the combination of orange peach colors with a lovely blue. It's my new favorite at the moment. So once again, I'm just adding the lighter color and then going in with the darker shade. Then I can pop this panel to one side and leave it to dry. And afterwards, I will use the coordinating die set that comes with the Bergenia Builder and just cut these out. And these are going to be my embellishments on my layout. So once this panel has been colored, I can start coloring in the flowers on my background paper, which I have put to one side. This is going to take a little time because I did stamp quite a few images, but I really love this watercoloring process. It's really relaxing and helps me unwind from very busy days. So as you can see here, I'm going to do the same process as I did with the previous ones. I always like adding a little bit of water before I start watercoloring, just to make sure that the color bleeds along the images nicely. So once again, this is going to take a little bit of time, so I will speed up the process. So once I've finished all the coloring and the layout is dry, I can start working on my layout. Now, as you can see, there was a little bit of a mishap there. I added some color onto a spot which I didn't want to add any color to, but this is easily remedied because my photo will just be put on top of it. These little accidents do happen, so if they do, don't worry and try to fix it. You can always pop an embellishment on it. So here you can see that panel which I colored in previously, and I'm just going to take my dies out and cut out all these images. This is a really fun way of adding some detail and dimension to a layout, is using the same images as on your background and just cutting them out with coordinating dies and then popping them on top. So now that I have cut out my images, I'm going to start building my layout. I want my photo to pop off the page, so I'm just going to mat that onto some cardstock. Here I'm using pattern paper, but you could use a darker cardstock. For my sentiment, I'm going to be using this really fun graphic title saying happy. And I'm going to add a couple of those smaller sentiments as well. The sentiments I'm using for my title as well as for my journaling elements are from the Gradient Stripes stamp set, and I thought of using the Better Together stamp set as well, but I'm just going to keep it to the Gradient Stripes stamp set. So now I'm going to add all of my little self-made embellishments and just pop them under and on top of the photo. This will also help guide the eye towards your picture. Once I'm happy with the placement, I'm just going to stick them down. If you wanted to, you could also pop them onto some foam dots. I had printed out some little strips with journaling, and I'm just going to add a couple of finishing touches. This is something I really like to do. It's just to add some doodle stripes around my sentiments. I'm also going to add my memory and add that with some handwritten journaling. I usually just draw a couple of lines and then add my text to it. And to finish it off, I'll add a couple of details along the edges of the layout. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you liked this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos from Altenew. I wish you a happy day, stay safe, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.
Hello crafters, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Thanks for watching!